I woke up with the feeling that something had already gone wrong. Not a nightmare, not panic, just a quiet certainty, heavy in my chest, like a door closing somewhere far away. The room was dark, still. The city outside slept on, unaware. I lay there without moving, listening to my own breathing, waiting for something to catch up with me. Nothing did, and somehow, that was worse. I turned onto my side and stared at the faint outline of the curtains. My body felt alert, but my mind stayed blank, as if it refused to go back to where it had been. It wasn't sleep I was avoiding. It was memory. I didn't fall asleep again. Time stretched the way it does before dawn, thin, brittle, meaningless. At some point, I reached for my phone. No missed calls, no messages. I told myself that meant nothing, that investigations take time, that no news is neutral. But my body didn't believe it. Every sound in the hallway pulled my attention. Every distant door made my shoulders tighten. I thought of David, of how he had sounded in the car. Professional, controlled, careful. The more professional he became, the more danger I was in, because professionalism meant distance, and distance meant clarity, and clarity was the last thing I could afford. Morning arrived quietly. No announcement, no revelation, just light creeping into the room, revealing it exactly as it was. Temporary, impersonal, borrowed. Daylight didn't make things clearer. It made them real. People downstairs would be drinking coffee, reading the news, talking about weather. And somewhere else, men in gloves were moving through my house, touching things, measuring, deciding what mattered. I sat on the edge of the bed and pressed my palms into the mattress. I wrapped my arms around myself and waited. The phone rang. Not loud, not urgent, just once, and then again. I knew who it was before I looked. "Eva," David said. His voice was different this time. Not gentle, not familiar. Flat, efficient. "I didn't wake you, did I?" "No," I said. It wasn't a lie. He didn't ask how I was. He told me they had started moving forward, that forensics were processing the house, that timelines were being checked, that this part would go quickly. I listened to the shape of his words more than the words themselves. Then he mentioned Hilda. Just her name, and everything inside me tightened. Hilda. My thoughts scattered instantly. Had she seen something? Heard something? Had I seen her? The image of her in the station flashed through my mind, hands folded, eyes too alert, that unreadable look when our gazes met. David said they had spoken to her, that she had been cooperative, that she had mentioned something they hadn't expected. He didn't say what. He didn't have to, because my mind had already filled the space with possibilities. Did she see me? Did she hear something that night? Did she know before anyone else did? I gripped the edge of the bed harder, forcing myself to stay quiet. "Is everything all right?" David asked. There it was, the crack. "Yes," I said, automatic, effortless. He paused, just long enough for me to hear voices in the background. Colleagues, movement, the investigation breathing. "We'll talk again soon," he said. "There are a few things we'll need to clarify." Clarify. The words settled like a verdict. "I'll be available," I said. I didn't know why I said it. The call ended. The room felt different after that. Smaller. More exposed. Whatever Hilda had told them, it had shifted something. The investigation wasn't circling the unknown anymore. It was moving inward, toward people, toward proximity, toward me. And for the first time, I understood that remembering wasn't my only problem. Time was no longer waiting. Neither was I. I stood up slowly, as if standing too fast might scatter whatever was trying to surface. The room felt tighter now, like it was listening. If they were moving forward, then I had to move inward. I needed to remember before they decided what my memory meant. I crossed the room and stopped near the window. Outside, the street was already awake, cars passing, footsteps on pavement, a city continuing without permission. I had been there last night. That thought landed differently now. I closed my eyes, not to escape, but to return. I didn't try to remember the end. I knew better than that. Instead, I went backward, carefully, to the moment just before everything fractured. The door. The sound it made when I opened it. Not slammed, not forced, just familiar. My breath caught. The temperature in the room shifted, or maybe it was just my skin. My hands began to tremble. Not violently, not visibly, the way they do when something old wakes up. I pressed them against my thighs, grounding myself. Start small, I told myself. Start with what you know. I knew I had gone back. I knew I hadn't planned to stay long. And I knew, with a certainty that made my stomach turn, that I hadn't expected him to be awake. My body reacted before my mind could follow. A wave of nausea rolled through me, sudden and sharp. Cold spread along my arms, down to my fingertips. I leaned forward slightly, breathing through it. This wasn't panic. This was recognition. Something in me remembered the order of things. Not the story, not the explanation. The sequence. I straightened slowly, heart pounding now. Not fast, but heavy. Each beat felt deliberate, purposeful, like a knock from the inside. I tried again. The living room, the fire, too warm. The television on without sound. My throat tightened. I hadn't turned it on. That detail slid into place with a sickening ease. The shaking started then. Not fear, effort, like holding something down that was pushing back. My hands curled into fists on their own. I opened them immediately, startled. They felt empty. Too empty. I stared at them as if they belonged to someone else. No, that wasn't right. My pulse jumped. I closed my eyes again, harder this time. Not gently now, but with intent. "What were you holding?" the question echoed. My breathing turned shallow. Cold sweat broke across my spine. The answer didn't come as a picture. It came as weight. Sudden, unmistakable. My shoulders tensed as if bracing. My wrists angled slightly inward, adjusting to balance. I gasped softly, the sound tearing its way out of me before I could stop it. Oh, God. My hands remembered. The texture, the resistance, the way my grip had tightened without instruction. I staggered back a step and caught myself against the dresser. The room tilted, then steadied. This wasn't imagination. My body wasn't guessing. It was recalling. I pressed my palms flat against the wood, grounding myself again, but it didn't help. The sensation stayed, solid, present, real. I finally remembered what I was holding.